I thought buying a project car was the cheapest way to get working on cars, but I was incredibly wrong. Now, I've been tracking everything that I've spent on this car.
This was a huge mistake.
Now, starting off with the car itself. The car actually wasn't that expensive and it only cost me around £1,000. Now, I know a lot of people are probably thinking £1,000 is still a lot of money, which it is, but in terms of buying a car, that's actually really cheap.
I then immediately started finding problems on the car that needed to be fixed, and this is where the price kept going up and up and up. So starting out with the first problem I had on the car is the fact it wouldn't even start. So I ended up going to Halfords and buying a brand new battery, which ended up costing me about £75. Now, I wish that I could say that that solved my issue, but it just didn't. The car did not want to start at all. So I decided it was probably best to just do some basic maintenance. With the basic maintenance, I decided to change the brake discs, the oil, the brake fluid, as well as the spark plugs. And I also decided that I needed some new rocker cover gaskets because mine were battered. So I did all of that and that ended up coming to about another £200. And that still didn't fix the problem of my car not starting. And that's when I realised, because this is my first project car, I didn't actually have any tools to even do any of the changes with the fluids or discs that I've just bought. So I ended up having to go back to Halfords and buy some more tools, which cost me about another £200. Now let's talk about some of the things I didn't expect. So as we all know, the car doesn't actually start. So I had to go out and buy a brand new distributor, which luckily I managed to pick up for only £60, whereas usually they sell from anywhere between £180 to £300. I managed to get it this cheap because I actually bought it from someone off of the Ford Probe Facebook group. And I recommend to everyone that you join these as soon as you buy a project car. So I got told by a mechanic that my headlights were illegal. They were bright blue, which is something that's not permitted in the UK. So I've had to go and buy out a new wiring kit because the person who had the car before me has done some janky conversion to get these god-awful headlights. And this ended up costing me another £40. After then doing all of these basic changes to the car, I then noticed something. The rear sills were completely rusted and rotten. So I ended up having to get welding done to make sure that these are actually road legal within the UK. Now for me this was quite cheap as I know someone who does welding and it only cost me about £50. But if I didn't know someone, it would have costed me £300 to £400. And finally, I needed a brand new back box for the exhaust because mine was smoking. And I noticed there was a huge hole on top and all of the fiberglass hair was coming out. This back box, plus all the fittings, ended up costing me another £180. Now, I would say that my example of a project car has actually been relatively good when it comes to price. And for a lot of people, they're probably spending thousands and thousands of pounds just to get their cars running from the projects, like the one that I bought. But it is still costing me over £1,800 to get this car sorted, and it's not even on the road yet, and there's still loads more to come. I've got all of the cosmetics to do because the car is scratched, dented, and just overall cracked everywhere. And I estimate this is going to cost me another £1,500 to fix. I would still recommend that everyone that wants to get into cars buys a project car, because even though I've been spending money on it, it's so fun to actually work on a car. And if you want to see the rest of this project and this car get built out to its full potential, drop a comment, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week's video.